I vomited on my mom to escape my fish allergy. Growing up, I had this thing with fish and seafood. It wasn't the kind of allergy that would send me to the hospital, thankfully, but if I ate it, I'd get violently ill. We're talking throwing up, terrible stomach aches, and a pounding headache for hours. And if I had too much, I'd even break out in these small red hives all over my arms. The problem? My mom just didn't believe me. When I was little, I couldn't really fight back. She'd constantly try to force me to eat stuff with fish or seafood, convinced I was faking it. Then she'd just ignore me while I was miserably sick. One evening, my mom was hosting a big dinner party. I was all dressed up, looking presentable, and being shown off to the guests. I was around 9 years old then, pretty smart for my age, and honestly completely fed up with my mom making me sick all the time. When she offered me a fish cutlet, fish mixed with veggies, rolled, battered, and fried, I saw my moment. I can't eat that, I declared loudly. I'm allergic to fish. My mom, trying to maintain her composure, replied, No, you're not. Eat it. Yes, I am. I insisted. I'll get sick. You know how it is with some moms, especially in front of company. They absolutely refuse to back down, worried they'll look like they can't control their kids. My mom grabbed the fish cutlet, pushed it right up to my mouth, and commanded in her most serious voice, Eat. So I ate it. Fast forward about 10 minutes. I walked over to my mom and tugged on her sari to get her attention. I don't feel well. And then, without another word, I threw up. Right on her, all over the expensive carpet, and in full view of every single guest. My mom always prided herself on being seen as kind, generous, and charitable, so there was no way she could react negatively in front of everyone. She had to act all sympathetic and sent me off to bed to recover. After that night, she never made me eat fish or seafood again. My aunt found my Reddit post and went off. So, you guys remember that story I shared about my aunt basically ruining my sister's birthday? Well, apparently my aunt or her daughter is lurking on Reddit because they found it. And oh my goodness, did it hit the fan last night. My dad's phone rang around 11, he was barely awake, and it was my aunt. She just launched right into it. How could you do this to us? Aren't we family? Why did you shame us like this? That was so many years ago. Couldn't you just let it go? My dad, completely bewildered, asked what on earth she was talking about. That's when she dropped the bomb. We posted about my sister's birthday on Reddit. Now my dad doesn't know Reddit from a hole in the ground, so he was like, okay, and what's the big deal? That's when she really started laying into him. Wow, so your daughters do things without telling you? You should keep an eye on them, don't let them get out of hand. You should have taught them manners. My niece just exposed us and shamed us online. My dad, still confused, said, What are you talking about? How did she expose you? She hasn't even spoken to you in years. She posted a story about us, my aunt insisted. And as soon as her daughter read it, we knew it was about us. For the record, I didn't use any names in that story, not even my own. Dad then asked me if I did it and why. It took a good 15, maybe 20 minutes to explain to him what Reddit even is and what I wrote. I told him I just recounted a past event. I hadn't revealed her identity in any way. So he just handed me the phone, figuring I could explain it to her directly. The moment I said hello, my aunt started screaming at me. Seriously, it was so loud, you could probably hear it without even holding the phone to your ear. You terrible person, how could you do that? Who do you think you are? Because distress to my child and then make it sound like I was overreacting? Take that post down now. And apologize for it on that subreddit. If you don't, I know I'm going to sue you. I was so incredibly angry, all I could manage was a simple, No, I won't do anything of the sort. And I added that I'd be interested to see how she planned to sue me all the way from California. That's when she started calling me and my sister all sorts of unkind names. My dad finally took the phone away from me, told her in no uncertain terms to never contact any of us again, and then blocked her. So yeah, Aunt Sheila, if you're reading this, I hope you see this too. I defused an entitled mom with a single question. So here's the deal. I've got two awesome young adults, 18 and 19, still living under my roof. They're both hustling with work and college, and honestly, I trust them completely to make smart choices. Once they hit 18 and finished high school, we totally changed the game. No more curfews. Just a quick call if they're gonna be out all night, so I don't worry. Need a ride home, no questions asked, just don't be foolish and drink and drive. Partners can totally sleep over or stay for the weekend, just give me a heads up. They pay a little rent in the summer when they're working full-time and cover their share of car insurance. We all pitch in with chores, we're a team. If they're being difficult, I tell them and they listen. And I listen to them too. We barely ever argue. This is their time to find their footing as responsible adults, with me as their safety net. Lately, one of my kids' partners has been practically living here. He's over all the time. Then 2 days ago my phone rings, a number I don't recognize. I answer, and it's my daughter's boyfriend's mother. Hello, I say. A woman's voice immediately snaps. You need to tell my child he isn't allowed over your house anymore. Who is this? I ask, taken aback. This is Tommy's mother, she barks. I can already tell where this is headed. Oh, Tommy's mom. You know, I have to say, you've raised such a wonderful kid. He's always so polite and respectful. In fact, look, I don't care what you think about my kid. She cuts me off. He is never at home. He isn't spending any time with me. Okay, I say, a little confused. There isn't much I can do about that. Yes, there is. Tell him he can't come over to your house anymore. I want him home. And you set a bad example for my son. Your daughter has no curfew and I am sick and tired of hearing how nice it is at your house. I miss him and want him home, she shouts. I lower my voice, almost a growl, into the phone. Are you done shouting at me? A pause. Complete silence. I think I've just stunned her. I'll take that as a yes, I continue. Do you trust the way you raised your son? What? She asks, thrown off. It's a simple question, I repeat. Do you trust the way you raised your son? Of course I do, she says, indignant. What does that have to do with anything? Do you trust him to make good decisions? I press. Yes. Yes, of course, she replies, and I can hear her starting to calm down. Mother to mother. I say, my voice softer now. I know things aren't okay at your house right now. I know her husband has issues with drinking. I'm trying to give your child a safe place when things are difficult at your house. She tries to interrupt, but I don't let her. It's not your fault. More silence. He throws your son out for days at a time sometimes, doesn't he? I ask gently. Yes, she chokes out, and I can hear her holding back tears. Do you need someone to talk to? I offer. Would you want to go out to lunch? That way you can feel safer knowing whose house your son is at, and that he is safe. That would be okay, she whispers. We ended up talking on the phone for about an hour after that. What started as an angry, demanding mother turned out to be just a scared woman feeling incredibly alone. No big dramatic confrontation, but I think it worked out okay. I'm actually going to try and get 19-year-old Tommy's curfew changed from 10 p.m. to midnight, and maybe he can even stay over for a weekend. I showed my cancer, she still assaulted a cop. So about 7 months ago, something wild went down that I still can't quite believe. I was diagnosed with nasal cavity cancer about a year before that. Thankfully it was contained, but it still meant heavy-duty chemo. That treatment made all my hair fall out, even my eyebrows and eyelashes. I'm a big guy, 6 feet 4 inches and pretty built, so I wore a wig because frankly I didn't want to be mistaken for a skinhead. One day, after a particularly brutal chemo session, I was heading home on the only bus that goes my way. It was absolutely packed and I felt utterly awful. I asked a kind man if I could have his seat, and he immediately got up for me. Seriously, if you're out there, dude, thank you. 2 stops later, this woman gets on, let's call her entitled mom, with her son who looked about 12. She had that, I need to speak to the manager haircut and was, let's just say, quite large. It took her all of 5 seconds to notice there were no open seats, spot me, and start pushing her way down the aisle towards me. I knew the moment I saw her I was in for it. She stopped right next to me and started in. Excuse me, could my son sit down? She demanded. Are you talking to me? I asked, confused. Who else? She shot back. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm coming straight from the hospital and... I started, but she cut me off. So are we, she insisted. Which was a total lie. We were miles from the hospital. My boy just broke his leg, and we're straight from the emergency room. Her kid was standing perfectly fine next to her, looking mortified. He's standing right there, completely fine. I pointed out. Listen here, boy. She snapped, calling me boy even though I'm 21. My kid deserves to sit down. Look, madam, I tried to explain. I'm sorry, but I just had a chemo session, and I really need to sit and rest. I even nudged my wig a little so she could see my bald head. That's when she started screaming directly in my face. Stop making excuses. Get off the seat, you bald-headed piece of trash. I was stunned. I had no idea what to say. Her son was desperately trying to make her stop, and the entire bus was staring. Then she actually grabbed me and tried to yank me out of my seat. I held on tight, thankfully. Right then my hero appeared. An older gentleman, probably in his 60s. Will you quiet down, you obnoxious woman? He bellowed. Who do you think you're talking to? She screeched back. Stop assaulting other passengers or I'll have to get involved, he said, his voice like ice. Any fool can see this young man has cancer. And oh, he's just some bald-headed hooligan, she shrieked. He has no eyebrows, you idiot, he retorted. That comment seemed to really set her off. She spun around and threw a punch straight at the gentleman's face. I was in shock, the whole bus was aghast. Her poor kid looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him whole. Then the gentleman said something that blew my mind and sweet, sweet karma followed. All right, that's enough, he announced. Harassing passengers, physical assault against a passenger, and now assaulting an officer. You are in serious trouble, lady. He pulled out a badge. He was a police officer. He told her to stay put, then called someone on his phone, explaining he was making an arrest. Entitled mom went completely white. The bus had just stopped, and she tried to bolt, but other passengers blocked her exit. She got charged with resisting arrest for that too. 3 stops later, a patrol car was waiting for her and her son. The kid came up to me and apologized profusely for his mom's behavior. I really felt for him. He was a good kid stuck with a nightmare mother. The officer took my statement and asked if I wanted to press charges, which I absolutely did. He was great, letting me handle everything over the phone so I didn't have to go to the station. In the end, entitled mom got a few months in jail and some community service. I got a crazy story and the incredible satisfaction of instant justice. Funnily enough, I'm actually riding that same bus home right now, fresh from a hospital checkup, and it just reminded me of the whole thing. My hair's slowly growing back, and I'm officially cancer-free since November, so no more wig. It's incredible what some people will do, isn't it? I kicked out rude tourists who insulted my grandfather. Alright, let me tell you about a summer a few years back, when I was 17 and spent my days helping out at my grandpa's restaurant. This place was special, nestled in our family home in a tiny village in northern Spain. My great-grandparents, who started the place way back in '41, lived upstairs. My great-grandmother and grandma were the master chefs, and my great-grandpa and grandpa worked the tables. It was small, only 8 tables inside, maybe 10 if the weather was nice enough for outside seating. It also doubled as a local bar, always buzzing with the retired folks playing cards and enjoying a drink. Even though it was remote, we'd get a few groups of tourists every week, and my brother and I handled them because we were the only ones who knew English. Our kitchen was only open from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and then again from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m., serving just one fixed menu. A starter, 2 main courses, dessert, and a choice of cider or water, all for €10. One afternoon around 4 p.m., most of our lunch crowd had finished up and were just relaxing with coffee or a digestive. My grandparents and great-grandparents were finally getting to eat, waiting until everyone else was served. So my brother and I were covering the tables. Suddenly, we heard a car pull up, and a woman speaking loudly in English. As they walked in, she immediately demanded, "We'd like a table." Someone from the hotel told us this was a great place to eat. I explained, "I'm so sorry, ma'am, but the kitchen is already closed. It's quite late." She shot back, "Yes, it's late because we got lost on these awful roads. Is it so hard to put up proper signs? And we have a hungry child." "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that," I said. "Let me see if I can do something." I went to my grandma, who, being the kind soul she was, said it was fine since everything was already prepped and just needed warming up. When I returned, the woman impatiently asked, "Well, are you going to give us a table or not? If the kitchen is closed, how are those people eating?" She pointed at my grandparents. I figured her grumpiness was just hunger talking. Chuckling a bit, I replied, "Those are the owners, so they can eat whenever they like. But good news, you can eat too. Please follow me to your table." I led them over, explained the single menu, and despite their odd looks, they seemed to accept it. I brought out bread and water, and they practically inhaled the bread, which reinforced my "they're just hungry" theory. But then, as soon as I brought their starter, the father demanded, "Hey, we saw a Wi-Fi network. What's the password?" "Yes, there is one," I confirmed, "but it's for staff personal use." Our Wi-Fi was super slow, limited to just 5 gigabytes, mostly used by my grandpa for news and by us for quick messages to friends. He scoffed. "That's ridiculous. We're paying customers, we deserve access to your Wi-Fi." The mother chimed in, "Yes, our little angel wants to watch some videos. We have no internet out here." "I'm sorry," I reiterated, "but it's for personal use." "That's not right," she argued. "This would be unacceptable in America." "Well," I said, trying to keep my patience, "I'm sorry to inform you that we are not in America." The mother mumbled something to her 7-year-old, and he immediately started running around the restaurant, stomping and yelling. My great-grandpa, who had been quietly observing, came over and asked what was happening. I explained the whole situation. He then asked me to translate what he was about to say. "Please, madam," he said calmly, "control your child or I will have to ask the 3 of you to leave." The mother's face flushed. "Don't you dare tell me how Tio raised my child, you old fossil," she yelled. The father chimed in. "Don't get close to my child, you ancient person." By now, everyone in the restaurant was staring in utter disbelief. I hesitated for a second, then translated their rude words to my great-grandpa, expecting him to be upset. Instead of arguing, he slowly turned and motioned to 2 men sitting at another table, asking them to escort the family out. I quickly explained to the family that if they didn't leave, those 2 men, who happened to be members of the local rural police force, would remove them. They didn't believe me, insisting they wouldn't leave until they were served. Finally, the 2 officers stood up, showed their badges, and in their best English told the family to leave. The mother, father, and child finally got up and started to go. As they were leaving, the officers noticed their rental car was parked right in front of our garage, blocking it completely, in a clearly marked no parking zone. They promptly asked for the rental car papers, took a couple of photos, and handed them a €200 fine for obstructing private property. My pregnant sister stole my wedding venue. Okay, so picture this: 8 years with my amazing fiancé, 3 of them engaged. We've been planning our dream wedding literally for years, ever since I started my PhD. The perfect venue, the one we had to have, was booked solid until after my graduation. So what did we do? We locked it down 3 years in advance for September of this year. My sister, on the other hand, just got engaged a few months ago. She was aiming for a spring wedding next year. No venue yet, but a few vendors lined up and a date. Everything seemed fine. Then came the family barbecue. My sister dropped a bombshell. She's pregnant. Everyone was thrilled, especially for her and her wonderful fiancé. My grandma, ever the practical one, asked if the wedding was still on for next spring or if they'd wait. My sister said she was hoping to move it to September. I didn't think much of it. We don't have many out-of-town guests, so they could easily attend both if they wanted. My grandma even offered to help with the short-notice wedding. That's when things took a sharp turn. My sister looked at me and said, "That's actually what I wanted to talk about. I was really hoping we could just take your venue. I honestly can't handle the stress of planning a wedding and maternity classes. Plus, it's just so beautiful. It would mean so much to me." Silence. Everyone just stared at me, expecting me to gush. Yes, of course, anything for my little sister. Even my brother-in-law looked incredibly uncomfortable, and told her they'd discussed this and that putting me on the spot wasn't right. But my sister just brushed it off. Don't be like that. My sister always wants what's best for me, so it's no big deal, right? I managed to stammer. Well, it kind of is. I don't know. My heart is really set on that venue. And then the waterworks. She stormed off crying. My grandma immediately jumped in, telling me I was being selfish, that my sister needed the venue more than I did. I tried to defend myself, but my mom chimed in. "You've waited 3 years. Would a few more months really kill you? When has your sister ever asked you for something?" After a few more comments like that, my fiancé got seriously upset and we left. My sister called me later, still crying, saying it was unfair that I always get what I want and couldn't do this one thing for her. Even my dad said it's just a venue, what matters is the person you're marrying. He's kind of right, I guess. But we've been planning this for so long. Now my fiancé is furious with my family. He doesn't even want my sister at the wedding. And my family is threatening to skip the wedding altogether because I'm selfish and my sister needs it more. Because having a baby is too stressful. The next day, my brother-in-law called me to apologize for the whole mess. He told me he'd talked to my sister, and she'd promised not to ask. He's furious with her now and warned me that she's blaming me for potentially ruining her marriage. Meanwhile, my father sent me about 5 texts along the lines of, "I hope you're happy, your sister hasn't stopped crying since yesterday," and similar guilt trips. My fiancé and I decided to take action. My sister is out of the bridal party. We're replacing her with my aunt, who's the only family member who actually stood up for me. We're still debating whether to invite my family at all. And then my mom decided to escalate things. She called my fiancé's parents and told them it would be best if my sister got the venue because she's pregnant and preeclampsia runs in the family. Whatever that means. My future father-in-law, bless his heart, told them off, basically tearing into my mom for expecting something so ridiculous and warning them they'd lose me if they kept playing favorites. Now my mom's crying too, saying my father-in-law is an ass. Honestly, it's like a bad soap opera. My in-laws are currently on their way over with supper and wine, telling me not to worry and that no matter what, they'll be our safety net. I genuinely cried happy tears. This whole situation somehow blew up and went viral. My sister actually saw it while browsing Reddit. She completely lost it, accusing me of making her sound crazy and twisting the facts. She insisted I was unfair, that she's family, and she asked nicely because she loves me. She also emphasized that internet strangers' opinions don't count, because family is more important, and I should focus on making my family happy. I sent her one text back. "I'm sorry you perceived it that way. I didn't distort anything that happened. As you might notice, I didn't describe your tone or exaggerate anything. Perhaps you remember that night differently than I do, but I digress. I am sick and tired of bending to your will. My whole life, I've been your servant and your doormat. Remember all the birthdays I had to share with you because you'd throw a tantrum if you didn't get presents? Or when you cried so I would fill out job applications for you. But the thing that has hurt me most until now is when you ruined my graduation. I am done. I admit that I also spoiled you, but I will not any longer. If you want to marry so badly before your baby is born, then you could look at Hotel X that offers last-minute weddings. I have spent too much time planning my wedding to gift it to you. And if you want to ruin our relationship over this, then go ahead. I will sleep sound and safe knowing that it wasn't my fault. Her only reply was, "Wow, you must love me so very much." And then she blocked me. She unblocked me this morning though, just to send me a screenshot of a text exchange. A wedding planner confirming to my mother that she'd proceed with the rebooking of the venue on the spot, but with extra costs, and my sister replying, "That's great. I'll be there at 9. My parents haven't contacted me since the incident with my father-in-law. My older brother, who lives in another city and wasn't at the barbecue, reached out. He'd gotten a strange story from mom and dad, with my mom claiming I had offered the venue to my sister before the barbecue and then humiliated her. I told him the truth and he believed me instantly. We talked a lot about our parents' behavior, and he even confessed that part of why he moved was because our parents were, as he put it, rotten to us. He also told me mom found out about my post and was furious, saying I betrayed the family. I haven't reached out to my parents yet because I'm still trying to process the fact that they clearly favor my sister, if they even love me at all. On the wedding front, we've gone through all our vendors, including the venue, and set up passwords to prevent any further interference. We also canceled the catering my parents were paying for. It means we won't have the full catering we wanted, but all our friends and my fiancé's family are rallying to help us prepare a buffet instead. It's actually going to be our combined bachelor/bachelorette party. A big cooking session with everyone chipping in. Since we'll be spending more on food, we had to scrap our original bachelor/bachelorette plans. Thank you all for helping me see just how toxic my family really is. I'm going to try to sort things out. If my parents apologize from the bottom of their hearts, they'll be at my wedding. But if not, well, I still have my brother who will be walking me down the aisle and my aunt. We just called our wedding planner, and she was absolutely horrified. She said she hadn't spoken to my mother since the day we booked the venue. She reassured us that even if someone tried to call and say I wanted changes, I'd have to be physically present to make any alterations. We've informed everyone working our wedding, and they've even offered to hire security for the day at a reduced price.